All right, what is up, guys? We have season 37, war number 6, going up against Made in Brazil. They're a consistent Masters alliance. They're a good alliance for sure, consistently in Masters. And I was given initially 6 fights this war, and then they changed the plan, and I was actually given 7. I was added on the boss. So I had a lot of studying to do for my fights. I told my wife when I was at work, I got a lot of hard fights. I'm gonna be doing a lot of studying, and she was like, "Oh, it's good." She was like, I'll just work out." So she kind of knew what to expect. I was watching a bunch of champion spotlights and reading abilities because there's a lot of questions I had, and so I was doing my studying thoroughly. So that was good. The whole thing went good. I didn't die, which you'll see, which is great. But I'm super frustrated that my recording failed. So I did my first 5 fights all in a row, and apparently I only recorded the first minute of me boosting. So I'm going to go over the fights and show you at least what they were, and I can prove to you that I didn't die. So let's see. But the good news is that I did get the recording of my mini. I take a mini I-bomb, and I also take the Misty Boss. So thankfully I got those on record. So let's see what we got. So section 1, I have path 9. I've actually never taken this path before. And I'm taking Fury and Hulking, 2 pretty tough defenders. I was assigned Cosmic Ghost Rider. I was running half suicides. And the biggest thing for these 2 fights is to keep track of the node. So Cosmic Ghost Rider hits really hard, but he's only Incinerate immune. So during poison phase, you want to make sure you hit the defender and push him away from you. So for Nick in particular, I wanted to make sure I kept track of his tactical charges, because if those get out of hand, it can go sour really quick. And then I don't think there's anything else tricky with that node, honestly. And then for Hulking, I need to make sure I took off my power back boost, because I think, what was it, he goes indestructible after you fill a bar of power, so that would really mess up the special too. So those 2 fights went really well. I don't think I got comboed at all, and so I was really happy with those fights because I was the most worried about them. Next up, I have Node 26. I have this Doom. I've taken this fight before, and this fight actually went super well. I'm super comfortable with this fight now. So you turn on Max Pacify, so that you have 100% ability accuracy reduction on parry. You also have a white max pre-fight so that you can parry and you can bypass Conflictor, but you parry and you heavy, but you don't hold heavy, so you build up your paralysis. And my strategy was to get him down as low as I could, doing parry heavy. When he has his aura up, it seems to only be ability actually reduce 70%. So I would just kind of hit him 2 or 3 times to keep space, and then when his aura was done, I would throw a heavy again. But I did that until I got him down to about 50% health, and then I decided to drop my special 3 so that there was very low risk of him getting to a special 3, even though I don't believe I lost my indestructible boost on this fight, and it went really well. I came out with basically full health, so it went really well. Next up, I have Path 8, this Domino. I took this Domino, I think, last war, and then I have Dragon Man. So Domino, as I've said before, the biggest thing is not to lose your invulnerability boost, and then keep track of her lucky. When she's lucky, you really do not want to hit her. So that fight, she didn't even get to a special 3. She cooperated big time and kept throwing specials. So that fight went really well. Hardly lost any health. And then Dragon Man, I wasn't as worried about that fight. That's probably my easiest fight. I took him with Magneto, and I took Dominant Warlock, I don't know if I said that, and it had a 200% tech boost, power back. Anyway, for this Dragon Man, it got a little interesting because he was getting a lot of power by the end, but I knew his power charge had a 70% chance to not come back, so I basically just built up to special 3 and dropped it, and he died, and it was totally fine. So yeah, so finally now we're to the fights where I actually have a video. So I'm starting out with this I-bomb, and it's a very interesting fight. So I'm taking him with Warlock. I was told he did not have willpower, so in hindsight, this was actually, I think it was very fortunate not to die. I don't know if the officers overlooked it. I brought it up post-war, but not a whole lot was said. But I-bomb has poisons on himself, and so that triggers Conflictor. So it's very interesting that I-bomb just keeps getting more and more power. With Warlock, my goal was to parry light, medium, which was a great strategy. Infamous helped me with, because I was planning just to do parry light, medium, but parry light, medium helped me with spacing, and I was only going to throw special 3, so that would power drain him. It ended up working out that he did have willpower, so the fight was completely safe. But if I could go back and do it again, if he didn't have willpower, I don't know, it's interesting. It's kind of a sketchy fight. If he cooperates and throws his special 1s and special 2s quickly, it should be fine. But I still think it's sketchy, because if he drops a special 3, you're pretty much dead, because of the, whatever it is, the Toxicar or whatever that doesn't need poisons on you. So the fight went really well, and thankfully he had willpower, so that worked out. So we'll see this fight. Alright, so my last fight is this boss fight. It's my first boss of the season. I'm taking this Misty Knight with Magneto. She is metal, so she'll have a 70% ability accuracy reduction. I had made it through 6 fights without dying, which what I kind of thought was my hardest war so far, so I really did not want to die. Some things with Misty, you'll see here, one of the biggest things you want to look out for in the very beginning is equilibrium. So she's going to start with 2 of each charge, because she has, I think, the parry and the dex mastery, and that allows her to start with 2. And then also whenever she ends a light combo and whenever she ends a medium combo, even into your block, she'll get a charge. When she throws a special 1, it'll empty one of the charges. I think it empties the armor break looking one. So if she gets to 6 charges and is equilibrium, if they're equal, she'll get an unblockable for 6 seconds. So that's really bad. in as a war boss. So thankfully she got to 4 and she threw her special one, so it cleared out her charges. You saw there I took a combo that was, I think, just, I don't know, I just messed up there a little bit, but I practiced her dexing her special one like a million times before this. She does have a chance to evade, so I think it's for each of her cryogenic charges, she gets 1% chance, so that equals out to 12%, but then with minus 70% ability accuracy reduction, it's down to 4%. So I knew she had a very slim chance of evading, but I wanted to keep spacing, so I would hit her once or twice, just to kind of keep her away. But my main goal here was just a heavy counter, bait out special ones, and drop special 3s and hope she would go down. So you can see there I would do like kind of a one hit there, and then, but yeah, I mean it's pretty straightforward fight. Honestly, it's not a very hard one. It's just, you just don't want to mess up. So, and you do not want to push her to a special 3 or to a special 2. I mean, I don't want any part of that. So yeah, you just hit her block to create space, don't get backed into a corner, bait out special ones, heavy counter, and then in the very beginning of the fight, just keep track of her charges, make sure she doesn't get to 6 before she throws a special one. So if she gets to 4 and it's equilibrium, or 5, make sure you get her to throw that special one before she gets to 6. And I think when you parry, she gets, I'd have to look at her abilities, she either gets 2 or 3 charges, so you're going to be careful of that too. But anyway, so it's kind of a lengthy fight, but I played it super safe. I really didn't want to die. I knew it was under control the whole time. I think I'm at, what am I at, 50% health, just below. I was running half suicides, but I figured the special 3 would end it, and it pretty much did. So it was a good boss fight. It was good. So I was pretty excited. My alliance mates were super awesome, and they were also excited. So yeah, that was awesome. So overall, it was a great war. 7 fights and no deaths. It was probably, I really think I had some tough fights. We only had 1 death that did come from our battle group. It did not come from me, so I was super pumped about not dying here, especially because I lost in fantasy football this night. So it was a good feeling. So yeah, it was a great war. I appreciate the planners and the officers. They did a great job. Congrats to me in Brazil. I hope that you guys have a great rest of your season. And thanks for watching. Have a good night.